Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed the 30th of December, which means, of course, the Steam Christmas sale is still going on, and there are some pretty good deals on today. First one we're going to discuss is Outlast. It's available for 66% off, or $6.79. So, I haven't actually played this game myself, Amata has, and she actually says it's really good. I'm going to go through the basic premise. You are basically in an insane asylum, and the only way you can really see in really dark areas primarily is by using night vision on a camera. There are films which you're probably going to be quite familiar with this type of concept. Now, it doesn't do anything particularly unique in terms of the horror genre, but it is genuinely quite frightening from what I'm told. I would recommend that you check out Amata's first impressions of the game if you want a basic idea of how it works. But I think it's safe and fair to say that if you're a fan of basically horror, or you're a fan of something along the lines of Amnesia, or Amnesia Machine for Pigs, then you're going to be certainly served fairly well with this title. Next up, for 50% off, that's $24.99 US dollars, would be Injustice, Gods Among Us Ultimate Edition. So this is actually from NetherRealm Studios, in case you're not too familiar with their work. They are the chap and chapasses who have pretty much put out all the Mortal Kombat games. Now, in my opinion, it's fantastic that a fighter has been released on the PC. Obviously, fighting games and PC typically don't get along so well. We do have games like Street Fighter, as well as a couple others like Skullgirls, but generally speaking, the PC's left out. NetherRealm do typically port the games to PC. It has taken them a while with, say, Mortal Kombat or Injustice, but we have gotten it. We do get the Ultimate Edition, which of course means that we get a lot of the shinies. So the basic premise here is pretty simple. You get to play as iconic characters, for example, Batman, Joker, Superman, and so on, in a fighting game scenario. So obviously, this isn't going to be for everyone. It does feature a story mode, and I'm told it's fairly good, so you could check it out. It's also doing fairly well on the tournament scene. It's not quite as popular as something like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or Super Street Fighter 4, but it is doing fairly well. So if you're a comic book fan, or you're just interested in a fighting game, then it's not a bad price either. Kerbal Space Program is next, and it's available for 40% off, which is $16.19. So this is actually a fairly unique idea in terms of it's early access, but there's also a demo. So you can actually try before you buy, and then you can actually try before release, if that makes sense. So the idea behind this is that you are able to create your own space program. That means you can do pretty much whatever you would expect to be able to do involving that. So, create spaceships and basically explore space and conquer planets and blah, blah, blah. It scores fairly well. I can honestly say that I've not played it, but there is a demo. Now, obviously, this is not going to be for everyone, so you'd probably be better off to just check out the demo, see what you think, and obviously, if it's your cup of coffee, then you can go from there. Next up, we have Alan Wake. So there's two versions of this. Well, actually three, technically. One is just the standard Alan Wake, which is $2.99. There's a collector's edition, which is $3.49, and finally, there's the franchise, which is $3.99. I'll go into the storyline in just a moment. So if you've not picked up any of them, if you don't own any of them, just go with the franchise, because American Nightmare is, weaker than Alan Wake by a considerable margin, but it's certainly worth $1, right? So the basic premise here is you are a writer, and it's very similar to something like The Twilight Zone. You are a writer, you've been struggling to come up with ideas for a storyline, so you go to basically go on a vacation. but then you basically become part of a story, and there's like a dark part of you that's trying to pretty much kill the light and pretty much take over the world in like a glory of evil. Storyline, it's a bit cheesy at times, but it's narrated quite well. The PC version is actually quite pretty as well. It also served back in the day of the quad-core processors from Intel to be a demonstration of quad-core processing, but then was later held back for an Xbox exclusive for a while before Remedy eventually released it for the PC. As I said, I have covered this on the channel. It was actually a really old video, and I've also covered American Nightmare. Personally, I really like Alan Wake. It's not the best game ever, but I think it has a certain level of atmosphere, a certain level of storytelling that I actually really appreciate anyway. Next title is Rising Storm. So this is available for $5, and also there are various other packs available, for example a 4-pack and as well as a Red Orchestra franchise pack. Now I'm going to be totally honest, I haven't really checked this out myself, Rising Storm. It does score pretty well from Metacritic. It also scores fairly well from the usual suspects such as PC Gamer, Rock Paper Shotgun and so on. But honestly, I can't be of any help. It just wasn't one of those games that I was personally interested in, so I can't really give you any more information than that, I'm sorry. I would recommend, as normal, checking out some gameplay videos just to give you an idea if it's your thing. There's certainly a lot of military FPS out there at the moment. Next, Metro. So there's two versions of this. There's the franchise pack, and there's the regular Last Light. So the Last Light is available for $13.59. There's the franchise pack, which includes the original 2033, Metro the Last Light, as well as Ranger Mode and some other bits and bobs. And there's the Season Pass, which is available for $5. Now I have covered Metro on the channel, so you can check that out. It's quite a nice story, actually. The basic premise is that you are in Moscow, and bad things have happened. Basically, lots of nukes have gone off, and it actually isn't just like, oh, okay, it's a post-apocalyptic, nightmare. Lots of other stuff is involved as well. Primarily the fact that all the radiation has caused a lot of mutation in the human genome, so if you have lived up on the surface, there are quite a lot of, let's just go with unpleasant things up there. The basic gameplay mechanic can be, well, described in that a lot of the weapons are broken down, a lot of our technology is crumbling and falling to pieces, and humanity is actually forced to live underground. Now, before we go any further, I want to illustrate something very, very much. This game is one of those titles that is, in my opinion, one of the best looking PC games out there. It looks okay on console, it doesn't look crap, but compared to a high-end PC, and I'm talking like a really decent system here, if you've got a system that could run this at 1080p, 60 frames per second with a decent amount of anti-aliasing, or even a higher resolution would be ideal, but let's just go with 1080p. With all the settings maxed, you're going to be in for one of the best looking gaming experiences out there. It does have a few bugs, particularly in the Last Light initial release, primarily AI related. It's not bad, they're not terrible, they're not like groundbreaking, oh my goodness, bugs, and a lot of them have been resolved over time with patches upon patches. So you could check them out. As I said, check out a video or two on my channel or somewhere else, just to see what you think. I honestly really like this game, and I'd encourage you to pick it up and give it a shot. Next up is Farming Simulator. So this is available for 33% off, and that's $18.75. You can actually pick up the Titanium Edition plus modding tutorials for $14.99. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there, because that's 50% off. So that's a bit strange. So the idea is that you are basically taking on the life of a modern farmer, I guess, and you're pretty much supposed to do all the things that you would expect. This is going to sound really strange, but it's just not appealed to me. But at the same time, people who are playing it have gotten pretty damn addicted to it, from what I'm understanding. It's got tons of positive reviews. So, I mean, if this is one of those games where, you know, you're interested in this, then go for it, I guess. But personally, not really my thing. Okay, next we have Grand Theft Auto 4 for the PC. Now this one is a little bit odd, and I think there's a bit of a bug in the UK Steam store, and I'll go into that in just a moment. But the pricing is basically, well, it's just really weird pricing from Steam, actually, I'll just be honest. You can buy Grand Theft Auto 4 for $9.99, that's 50% off, but you can also pick up the Complete Edition, 75% off, which means it's $7.49. Now, the US store, actually on the front page, is advertising the Complete Edition, and then when you click on it, it'll take you to the page where you can choose whichever one you want. On the UK store, it's the other way around. It's actually put the UK prices there, and I don't know what's going on there. So, as I said, actually guys, I'm sorry, I've just given you the complete wrong prices. Grand Theft Auto 4 US is $4.99 and $7.49 for dollars. I've just given you the British pound prices, I apologise. So just to clarify, $4.99 for the standard version or $7.49 for the complete version. Meanwhile, the UK has the standard version for $9.99 and the complete version for $7.49. I apologise, I just misread that. So it's really weird what's going on with the prices there. I'm not quite sure. You can also pick up the complete pack. So the complete pack is going to cost you $12.49, and with the complete pack you get GTA 3, San Andreas, Vice City, Grand Theft Auto 4, episodes of Liberty City. So what are my thoughts about this? Well, aside from the really odd pricing for the sale, it is a solid release. It's actually fairly old now. Now, Grand Theft Auto 5 is pretty much been all but confirmed to be worked on for the PC. Upon release, this game on PC was really, well, it gave your system a workout, and honestly, I would recommend at least a quad-core processor, a low-end quad-core processor, or a high-end tri-core processor for this sucker, because it is extremely CPU hungry, even more so than GPU. It loves a lot of threads. Memory is also quite hungry as well. So it's a good game, honestly. There are tons and tons of mods available for it. I don't really think I need to say much about GTA. I mean, it's pretty synonymous. Whether you want to pick this one up or not is up to you. I think it's a pretty good deal. If you're a British person, or, you know, just check basically to make sure that the pricing hasn't changed. But I mean, for example, right now it's really weird because the complete pack, the UK complete pack, is like $8.74. So that's actually cheaper than just buying GTA 4 by itself. All I could think of is that Steam haven't updated the prices, and hopefully that's resolved later or something. I don't know. Anyway, last is Game Dev Tycoon. And the basic premise behind, well, actually, let me give you the pricing first. It's 50% off, or $4.99. You see how much easier that is when it's just simple? So this is actually a green light game, and I've not personally tried it out. But the basic premise is that you start in the 80s, and you start to develop your own simple games. And then as you go forward, you get to create titles, release them for others to enjoy. So it's obviously not in real life. So it's pretty cool in concept. Now, the reviews of people are mixed. Metacritic score is quite low. Reviews on Steam are reasonable. There are people with hundreds of hours on this sucker. It's up to you on this one. I don't know enough about it to make an educated or reasonable guess either way whether you're going to enjoy it or not. I'll just be totally honest. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed it. It's been a fairly odd bunch of games, actually. I'll just be totally blunt. There is a flash sale that I'd recommend for you guys, however, Limbo. I haven't tried the other ones available, Tropico, Space Base, or Shadow Warrior. I'm almost positive Amata's tried Shadow Warrior, and she said it's really good, though. But Limbo is a really artistic survival game, puzzle survival game. You can just check out the graphics yourself and you can see just how artistic it is and how awesome it is. It's not that long. It won't take you that long to complete, but I really like it and I'd encourage you to check it out as well. Just in case it happens to still be on the flash sales when you guys check this video. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.